Call to order, Muncie Park and Recreation Board meeting Tuesday, December 16th. If we'd stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Chandra Parks, James Letton,
Here.
Mark Irvin,
Here.
Shannon Powers,
Here.
Brad Marshall,
Here. Chandra did let us know she had a family commitment that she was not able to join us tonight. She sends her regrets. Before we get too far into the agenda here, I see a few new faces out there. We do have a sign-in here for public comment at the end of the meeting. Comments from the public through the agenda will be focused on the agenda items. If you got anything additional, they could be during the public comment at the end. We've got the approval of the minutes from the November meeting. There's no discussion or revisions. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Mr. Carl Malone, Superintendent Report.
Good evening, Board. Before I start with the report, I'd like to say thank you to all the board members for year of 2025. We had quite a bit of roller coaster ride as relates to parks, but we're here now in December, and so we got through it. And so I just wanted to say thank you to all the board members, all the work everybody's done to try to push parks in a better place. So it's we got quite a few work to do for 2026, but we're getting ahead of the game a little bit. We got some planning going on, and we got some new partners and some partnerships, and our program department is going to be in place to push some of our program delivery stuff out. And so I'm looking forward to 2026. Basically, we have been in support at Perry Creek with the Perry Creek office, and Misty and the team out there with assisting with pulling piers out of the water. We've had some challenging days with the weather and all, but we are pretty much getting done what we can. When she comes up, she'll be able to give you a little more detail on that. But parks have been part of that in the support role. And then Light Up City of Muncie, we was downtown quite a bit with lighting up the tree and all the things that helped make that program or that event take place a few days ago. So kudos to the staff and everybody that had a hand in on Light Up the City as well. Westside Park, the basketball court renovation is still going in place. I think community development is going to help us and assist with us moving that forward. Hope that we're able to get 3 basketball courts put in. I went by and looked. It might be a little tight, but the plan and the goal is to add 3 new courts there at Westside. Baseball diamond will start in 2026 with some renovation there at the main fuse box. The scoreboard will be installed and some lighting, some things of that nature, and then the dugouts will be renovated. So we do have plans to have baseball leagues, softball leagues at Westside this year. So we plan on getting that going soon. I think that's it for Westside. Riverview, pretty much everything is done. They got a few little minor detail stuff to do in the bathrooms, but we should be good to go early spring with opening of those restrooms at Riverview. I think that's about the only thing left to really do is to tighten up the bathrooms per se. Hickman Park tennis court will be resurfaced for pickleball courts and tennis as well. That's going to happen in 2026. And then we've started on some of our park signs. This particular sign was at 9th and Hackley, and it needed a little more framework. And so we decided to put that off until 2026 due to costs. But we got that in the budget for this year, so we're going to get that taken care of ASAP. And then Thomas Park, restroom is the same as Riverview, pretty much almost done. Got a few little detail stuff there in the bathroom as well. Basketball court, it's in need of upgrade, so we need to talk about funding and how we can make that happen. And then, of course, playground mulch is needed. And we do have quotes already for Thomas Park, along with a couple other parks. We already have quotes in the office for 2026, so we kind of know what the cost is going to be associated with mulch. And we started working on Alshire Park. It's one of the parks that really needed a facelift, and so we started, but we didn't get it completed. So that's going to be on our radar. We did get some playground stuff painted, but we were taking out their rubber mulch, and so that's a little more work than what we anticipated. We've been in contact with CRG to come back in with the wooden chip mulch, and that's going to take place just as soon as the weather allows us to, and to include basketball courts. We've already got pricing for that as well, and then the shelter there itself, the roof is in bad shape. It needs to be replaced. And so those are some of the projects that we're going to have in 2026, starting us out just as soon as the weather breaks.
What about Tui Pool, the
Yes.
sunshades?
Yeah. So we have gotten those sunshades ordered. That's why you see the ones that are still up from the spring, from the summer. Those are still in place. They were frayed at the ends, and so when we take those down, we're just going to toss them. But we've already placed our order for 2026.
Yeah. I also noticed that there's new equipment, new playground equipment over there.
Okay.
Looks good.
Yeah, so it's a project. We've been in contact with Bud and Bond at the state conference, and we was hoping to make a little more headway with some of the things that we need to get done, such as the quote for the sand pits and whatnot. They did look at our pool itself and see that we got some pool work that needs to be done inside the pool itself. And so we need to follow back up with them to see a start date when they can come in sooner than soon as the weather allows for us to make the repairs at our pool site itself. Nikki's going to follow up tomorrow, I think, and check back with Yvonne about the overall. We've been asking for that quote for the pits for a while. So I called Jared again today, but I wasn't able to make contact with him. So.
Any other questions for Carl?
I have one question. I didn't catch what park, but you said tennis and pickleball court.
At Heakin.
Heakin, okay.
That
being
course, we do have the quotes already in the office
Okay.
for 2026. So as soon as the weather
Got it.
breaks and we can get out, then the company can get out there and they can resurface. Flatland took a look at it prior to us talking with the contractor to make sure the surface itself was solid for us to go ahead and resurface. So we're ready to go. So
Carl, I know you and I had talked a little bit about the YMCA agreement.
yes.
I know we want to get ahead of that this year. We were kind of behind the ball
Yes.
on that last year.
I spoke with Gretchen today, and she's looking at her calendar right now as we speak. That was after you and I had talked.
Yep.
And so she's going to give us a date. I told her as soon as possible, then we can all sit down and actually all the contracts, we're starting to make phone calls to try to talk with everybody to try to get in front of it versus behind it and scrapping at the last minute. So
Like one of the big pieces there is to review with them and with Chief Sloan and the team there on the security
Yes.
plan for next year
yeah,
as well.
exactly. That's probably
Operation hours and
a big
everything
piece.
there.
If we're going to do the same thing, I'm assuming so. I mean, Mark, have you heard anything different?
I have not, no.
Yeah. So I know last year it kind of caught us off guard
Yep.
at the end there. So
I think everybody was pretty pleased with how it worked out. And as far as I know, I think everybody be looking to kind of do the same thing,
okay.
hopefully.
I think it came down to dollars and cents and just working out the money piece
Yep.
from the controller's office to the park budget.
Jim?
Will the entire board be able to review the contract before, or will
We
it
will
just
bring
come
them
to us, say,
before.
this is what was approved? And
Yeah, we'll bring them before the board and everybody take a look at it. And each one that we have, we're probably gonna have, what, 4, maybe, Nikki, 4 or 5, maybe, I can think of. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 contracts should come before the board.
Well, because usually it gets too late and you say if we didn't have to approve it, then
Right,
we couldn't open, so,
okay,
I mean, I would just like it to come before the board before,
okay,
Absolutely.
so don't let it get into that situation, I
Yeah.
guess.
gotcha.
Could we also get a review of the money that the Y brought in, like we have in the
Yes,
past?
yes, I can ask her tomorrow to send that report that she normally does every
Yeah.
year, they normally send that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last few years we'd received that, and I hadn't seen one for this
Yeah.
past year.
Nikki, have you seen one? I haven't seen one.
Okay.
Well, I can talk to Gretchen
Excellent.
about getting that sent over.
Any other questions for Carl?
I got one more. On Prairie Creek, who is actually managing Prairie Creek and making all the decisions right now?
Well, we've been teaming up, Misty and myself, and kind of, for the most part, has been having some conversations between ourselves. And then the team, the office has helped out a little bit in terms of the phones and things of that nature, so. And we are currently going through applications to try to bring in some individuals per the interview. So,
I mean, as for planning and stuff like that, who's making those kind of decisions? Is that you?
it's Misty and myself, yes. And are you actually planning going forward for 2026 or finishing up 2025?
Just in general, everything going on?
Yes, so it's been her and myself for the last few months of 2025. And so we've got some new players coming in, hopefully, through the interview process. We just have to wait and see what that looks like, so.
Well, when we hire for out there, can we make sure it's people that actually have something invested in the lake or actually care about the lake, not about their pension? I mean, because that's not a high-paying job anyway.
Mhm.
But somebody that actually cares about the lake, I mean,
Okay.
Any other questions for Carl? Thank you, Carl.
All right, thanks.
Next on the agenda, we've got the Cooley Park mural site agreement. And I think we've got Ms. Courtney Marsh with the South Side neighborhood. So we've got the agreement here that had been shared with the board. She's also got a packet here. I assume she's going to review some of those details there, and we can discuss that.
Good evening, Board.
Evening.
My name is Courtney. As you know, I'm the president of the Southside Neighborhood Association. I'm sorry if I'm not loud. Is that loud?
I think that's
That
better.
was better.
Yeah.
I think you guys can hear me. I'm pretty loud anyways. For the last about 2 years, we've been having conversations about a mural project over at Cooley Park. We've worked with the Parks Department on multiple occasions due to individuals wanting to add their own personal art, if we could say it that way. And so we wanted to make sure to utilize our American Rescue Plan funds for adding art to the park to help deter anyone from utilizing that canvas space for their own free arting. So we worked with a couple of different entities. With the American Rescue Plans, we are required to work with our Muncie Arts and Community Culture program, and they have directed us to work alongside an organization called Storyboard. We were provided a representative named Marissa, which has been a very helpful piece to this. She's helped coordinate a lot of different things. We started with over 200 different renderings for art, and we narrowed that down to the top 3 individuals. We reached out to them, and they provided us renderings that would look on the building, how it would look on the building. So in the packets I provided you today, you will receive a project overview on page 4, which just gives you a little bit of information about some of the processes we've already taken and things that we hope to see here in the next couple of months. You'll also receive the timeline on page 4, and you'll note that it starts in June of 2025, but our conversation started well before that. This is just as Storyboard had gotten involved and was able to put that on paper for us so that we could present it to you all tonight. We've given out multiple surveys. We've utilized our events as opportunities for neighbors in our community to input on what they'd like to see on the mural itself. We've actually asked multiple times at different community meetings for input Neighbors were able to vote on the renderings that we had narrowed down from 200 to 100, which helped us narrow that down from 100 to 3, which is a huge undertaking. And then we projected a survey out to ask for additional inputs during that time. Now, part of that packet, if you want to flip a couple pages more, are some of the informational pieces that we received back from the top 3 artists that we were able to locate and select, which includes some of the timeline information, the materials that they would need, the process from them, as well as from the neighborhood association, the budget that they were expecting and what we were able to provide, and then the community engagement opportunities, because that's very important for us, that the community have a good piece as to what they're going to be seeing at the park. I know I'm going through this fast, but I don't want to take up too much of your time tonight. At the very back, you'll notice that there's a community feedback page with the name Brian Billinger at the top. That mural piece was one of the top selected. The board was able to sit down and review those informational pieces as well as the pie chart, which was broken down for people to choose if they loved it, liked it, or if it was not for them. After reviewing that, we noticed that Brian exceeded our expectations in reference to votes, as well as community conversations and feedback that's also listed behind. And so the board was able to make a final decision that we'd love to be able to work with him moving forward. Before we're able to commit to that relationship and be able to work with them in a more direct route in reference to Cooley Park, we need your assistance with a site agreement. We were able to send that over. I hope you've been able to review it, but if not, I completely understand. And we're looking forward to just gaining permission for them to be able to add the mural onto that concession building before we proceed any further with the artist himself.
How many people were surveyed?
In total, we received over 100 different responses. And I do have a longer version of this. I didn't want to take up all the time tonight, but it's a 95-page outline
Yeah.
from start to finish, and I did not want to go through that all with you tonight. I would be perfectly happy with sharing that all with you via email if you need to review all the information. It goes over the top 3 artists that we did select in reference to their community feedback sheet that has the pie chart on it, so that you can see the differences in the voting opportunities and the outcomes, as well as the community feedback where people were able to provide just written information on how they felt about the different viewings.
And so was that the final vision for them?
This that's shown here, yes, that's a
Okay.
portion of it. That's one side. We were also able to receive all sides of the building with the price that we were able to
Okay,
offer. And so there are additional photos that I'd be able to share with you as well.
okay. And then, I'm sure you've thought about this, but what are the contingencies if somebody spray paints over them?
Well, that's a very good question. One of our biggest portions of this project was to stress the fact that we wanted there to be a protective layer on this art. Not only because the artist is putting their time, their effort, and their love into it, but because we've already had concerns about people adding their own art to that building, and we didn't want to make it more stressful and more of a burden to clean it off later. So at the end of the application of the actual mural, they will put on a graffiti protectant
Okay.
so that if something does come along the way where there is any type of added art, if you will, it'll be easier to go up and just utilize soap, water, that type of thing to be able to wipe it off.
Okay.
So it might not be so intrusive. I know that multiple groups have been out to clean up the building, I guess we could say that. And so we're just trying to deter that from future happenings and concerns. There's been a lot of changes over at Cooley Park, and we're very excited about that. But we're trying to just make sure that in the future we don't have any concerns in reference to added art that's not approved.
Okay.
Any other questions for Courtney?
Very nice.
Does
Yeah.
this use all of your American Rescue funds?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We had set aside a portion because we had had conversations previously about adding art to our neighborhood.
Okay.
We didn't know exactly where at the time when we had the initial conversations, but then life kind of drifted us towards the fact that it may need to be utilized there.
Okay.
And so it was a nice, amazing building that was already painted white and just kind of gravitated towards us that we needed to put something pretty there.
Any other questions?
Again, if you need me to, I can share that other information with you via email. I didn't want to print all of it out for you.
I'm sure you've done your due diligence, so.
We've definitely tried.
Southside neighborhood always does a great job engaging the community, trying to get some feedback and getting the most input there. I know this has been sent over to the legal team. I don't know if they've had a chance to review or seen any issues here from their perspective.
Yeah, I think Aubrey Christ has done at least a preliminary review.
Okay.
She may want that survey, that,
Okay.
the longer version.
Right. I can do that.
Yeah, we probably need to at least attach that. I don't know, like you said, don't need to burden us in a meeting with it, but certainly attach it for the
Exactly,
for
not
the record there.
95 pages worth of information. I didn't feel like that was necessary. I wanted to give you guys the shorter version tonight, but definitely offer the opportunity for you to look through that longer portion of the documentation, because it does go from when storyboard started with us back in June up into our current situation that we're at now.
I see target completion was end of July.
Well, our application process, or I guess it's an application, our targeted area for that is anywhere between March and April.
Okay.
The artist has informed us that the only weather conditions they cannot work in, just because of the type of material they'll be working with, is rain. As you know, in Indiana, sometimes March and April are a little wishy-washy.
Yep.
So we wanted to move that date out just for the wiggle room of whether or not participating.
Okay.
But we'd really love to focus on getting that up on the walls between March and April, and then having a final walkthrough, of course with you all invited to come and see it, and grant your approval at that point as well. Because we do have a 30-day period at the end where if we're not happy or we have questions and concerns, that the artist is willing to come back and make modifications.
Any other questions, discussion?
Brad, I have one other question. The vandalism potential does concern me. How long will it take for the mural to be done? And what will happen during the time while it's being prepared? Will there be a way to monitor it, to keep it so it doesn't get damaged while it's even being prepared?
Great. Those are great questions. Brian gave us a timeline of anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks for the completion. That'd be from start to finish. He has asked that the neighborhood association help with the priming, just to kind of do that so that they don't have to be a part of it. It does shorten down their time line expectations. And we'd be happy to look into how we could secure the facility while the art is being put up, because we don't want it to be damaged in the process of getting on the walls. But we'd be happy to take any feedback that you all would have, maybe Carl or Miss Nikki, on how we could rectify that before it's a problem.
Yeah, I think that's a great consideration. I don't know that we've kind of fought the same issue when we've dealt with playground equipment and install. I maybe need to reach out to some of the other departments, maybe the street department or some sanitary district may have some construction fencing or some other options that we can secure the site during the construction mural process. Any other discussion or questions? If not, I think I would entertain a motion to approve this pending legal review, to allow them to continue down their process.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose same sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we've got the Prairie Creek report.
Alrighty, good evening, board, and good evening, everyone. Can everybody hear me okay? Wonderful. My name is Misty, and I am the Assistant Superintendent of City of Muncie Parks and Prairie Creek Reservoir. And today, for the report, I have a lot to share with you all, mainly revolving around some of our operational changes and challenges that we've been navigating since the last time we have met at the PCR office. As you guys might know, we are facing some low attendance numbers in the office. We're trying to fill some positions there as we speak, namely the operations manager position. Thanks to the help of Carl and his team, we've been able to accomplish quite a bit with a small team this year. As of right now, this time of year, we have about 5 folks who help out with our utility. We have 1 person who helps with our cleaning. We have 1 student who helps out in the office when she is able to. In addition to myself, and Carl has been a great help over the last month since our last board meeting, in trying to help cover some of our operational changes. We have had a host of them since we last spoke. And a lot that we have had to update in our reservation software, which has been more of a taxing endeavor that we've had all hands on deck for switching over reservations from this year to next year. We also, when it comes to our hours of operation, we've had some shifts there. In regards to the gates and some other things to share, our hours of operation at the office are still 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. For the duration of this month and next month. But I wanted to let everyone know that the Prairie Creek main office and the rest of the park, including the gates being open and closed, will be closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas, as well as New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. We will not have folks in the office on those days. The offices will be closed, and we will not have gates opened on those days unless there is a high need. We would like to not have our staff have to go out on the holidays in order to open up the campground, if at all possible. But since our last board meeting, we have, one of the biggest things we've been getting phone calls about are our gates, and making sure that those are open and available with some of the shifts that we've been seeing. We have had those open during the weekdays from around 8 a.m. to around 3:30 or so, unless there have been a need or a request to keep them open further that we've gotten at the office. And usually on the weekends, it's around that time as well that we've been typically keeping them open and locking them. In other news, our docks have been a big point of conversation over the last several board meetings. As of this time, we only have 15 wooden piers remaining, and those wooden piers are to the north of the campground in the area that is hard to reach with the tractor that we have been utilizing. We have been utilizing one of our tractors, an extension on that, as well as a lot of manpower and our boat in our dock removing endeavors. For the wooden piers, we have been utilizing the boat, or not the boat, the tractor, pardon me, to remove some of these. With the location of those, that tractor is not able to get back there safely without to do what is needed. So it's going to take a little bit more time. We've been waiting for a day where it's been above freezing to do that. We have those 15 remaining, and then we have approximately 12 floating piers remaining. When I last spoke up here, we discussed our boat. It had needed a repair. We were able to get it in and get a repair done. I wish it would have been all fixed then. We were not so lucky. We've had some hiccups with it, but our maintenance team has really pulled together and come up with some unique solutions. And as of right now, we think it'll pull through with the rest of December, with our December budget. But that is utilized in relocating some of the floating piers as it stands. On the topic of piers and things of that nature for next year, I was able to meet with the Sailboat Club, and I was able to get some information about how they secure their floating piers and the systems that they have. I know that I spoke with Brad briefly about how that seems to be the plan in the future, to getting those piers to where they won't have to be transitioned to a safer location. But we had some good conversations there, and also about other equipment and other methods that they've used with floating piers in the past, and that was a very beneficial conversation relating to docks. I know I provided some information on our boat. As of right now, it has been running somewhat decently. We hope to, within this next week or so, if the ice breaks and when we get better weather near the beginning of next week and before the holidays, we hope to knock the 12 floating pier number down. But that is still up in the air, dependent on the ice, dependent on the weather, and dependent on the boat and what is safe for our employees to get out there and do. Let me see here. I also have some other improvements that we have been in discussion with about improving the security in the park in this off-season, park-wide, for some of the trail closures that we no longer have open, and for the campground as well. We are working on getting improvements for those in place, some barriers to prevent trespassing and so on. I also have some other updates about other facilities on the property. We have our boat launch restrooms that have been seeing some repairs, and we're continuing on with that process as of this last week. I believe I mentioned it during our last board meeting, but all outdoor restrooms have been winterized, as well as the campground. The electricity in the campground has been turned back on. we've had a lot of folks call in with the changes that we're seeing, and they are wanting to prepare their campers for removal, and electricity has been needed for that. So we have that turned on for the foreseeable future. Outside of that, I know that near the beginning of the report, I mentioned some of the operational challenges and changes. Some of that has to do with people power. Carl and myself have been working on sifting through over 80 applicants for the operations manager position since it was posted, and that has taken some time. In that time, I've also compiled some other information and some other things for this upcoming year. Did any of you guys have any issues receiving the email that I forwarded your way about some of the grant ideas that I've come across?
I did receive that.
I did.
Okay,
And
wonderful.
some great
I
ideas
just
there.
wanted to go over a quick overview of what some of those were, and I myself do not specialize in grants, but I was trying to find some information on what could benefit the reservoir in the future. Some of those, we've been doing a lot of cleanup in what we refer to lovingly as the boneyard behind our garage. So we have a grant that could help us focus on tire recycling and repair, especially with all the wooden docks that we have. That need, when they're done, is quite expensive to recycle. So I have found a grant that might be able to help out with that. I've also researched 2 grants from the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, mainly for watershed related support. Some of these fund education, some of these fund improvements to the reservoir itself. These are all ones that I have scouted out, but we've not applied for or taken next steps. At least I myself have not. But I wanted to collect those for consideration. We also have one that was from the Indiana DNR. I believe it was the Division of Fish and Wildlife. And one resource that I found from the EPA as well that we could look into. Again, the synopsis or the summary that I sent over had a brief breakdown of what they were, what I think they could be utilized for, but my specialty is definitely not in grants, so I just wanted to share that with you all. As far as things to report on, I believe outside of events and other future topics, we've had a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, and a lot of folks in person come in with the changes to the campground for this next year. I know that folks have talked about winter storage timelines. I know that electricity was a big concern before we were able to get it turned on, and access to getting their belongings was another thing that we've been mitigating. I know I covered a little bit of our operation hours, including the gate times and the electricity, but those were some of the things that we've been seeing a high volume of calls about. As far as the last couple weeks have been concerned, it's gone down some, but with the weather upcoming and the holidays, I could kind of foresee that. But that was just something that as well as fishing events in the future was a topic that, when it comes to new topics, I would like to talk a little bit more about in the future. The past couple weeks, I've gotten some calls from several of our fishing clubs that are concerned about the impact of the fees and what that means for the way that they utilize the reservoir, and how those interactions would look, and what the financial impact would be to those individuals and those clubs. Many of them are looking for other reservoirs too, or other places to conduct their tournaments with the rate increases. I can share more about that when we discuss new topics, but I think that this is something that I'd like to continue to try to find solutions for too. At this time, do any of the board members have any questions or anything that you'd like me to clarify?
Jim?
Are there any plan changes to the piers or boating for next 2026 season?
Are you talking about like the leases and?
Are we going to
things
reduce
outside of that?
numbers? Are we going to?
As far as I'm aware, I do not believe so. I'm pretty sure docks are remaining unchanged for this next year. I think that we are updating the mooring piers, either to wooden piers or floating piers, but outside of that change itself, to phase out the mooring piers and replace those, I don't believe that there are any other changes to the leases. All leases and renewals, I think, would occur similar to other years. I myself was never involved in the picture before since I joined the team in July, but as far as that process goes, I believe that it is unchanged and unaffected.
Can I?
And
I'm sorry.
is there any budget discussions about next year?
So I myself, I have come up with a couple ideas for this next year, but budget discussions are still happening. I think that they're happening up a little higher than myself currently. But as of right now, I have been coming up with a list of capital projects. I do not have that list to share today, but I can send that out before December 31st to you all for some ideas that myself, as well as Carl, pardon me, and some of our team members have identified as being big targets for this next year. But with some of the changes to our facilities that will be upcoming in this next calendar year, some of it is still being talked about and in discussion, but not necessarily with myself at this point in time.
Will we see a review of the amended budget? Because, I mean, we're talking a pretty good chunk, $400,000 or so.
That's an excellent question. I can get you some more information. As of right now, I don't have that. When we go through that process, I will see what we can provide.
Are we currently accepting dock leases?
Not currently, not right now. I believe January 1st, I believe, is what the goal was for this upcoming year.
To send them out?
To send out the leases, I believe so. For the renewal process,
Okay.
yes.
Any other questions for Misty? Any other Prairie Creek discussion while we got her up here?
Just for the record, I want the public to know that me as a board member was not notified of the decision to close Prairie Creek. The last I'd heard that we were gonna keep the numbers and fix the dump station, and then we get an announcement the day after our board meeting, so I was not aware any bit of anything going on.
Did you have any events, Misty?
Yes.
We can do those right now, too.
Alrighty, so I was in conversation just a few days ago, I think it was on Friday, with a member of USA Bassing. He is a newly appointed director. We discussed 2 events that he would be having that would be under 50 people. One date he was estimating would be for around mid-June. The other would be for around mid-September. I had not received the official application back yet from him. I think I sent out an email to him, and I think I forwarded it to a few people to get questions on whether or not they could be combined into one event form. It sounds like when I get that information from him, I will have that brought to the next board meeting. But he is hoping to host 2 fishing tournaments. Both would be under 50 people, one for mid-June, one for mid-September. Other details I've not received yet. When I do receive those, I will make sure to email them to the board for you to see, and I will bring that, or have that brought to the next board meeting as well. Outside of that, I just had some more clarification from one of the events from our last meeting. I believe it was Ashley with the adventure racing. She had originally asked for September 27th to be the date of their event, but there is a Rubel Triathlon on that date already. September 20th, the Sunday prior, there were no conflictions that I could see with other events that we had. That I chatted with her, and we were able to get her event form and process the payment for the event fee. So that has been squared away, but that is officially dated for Sunday, September 20th, 2026. And that was just a clarification. As of this time, I don't believe I have any more events.
Any other questions for Misty?
All right, thank you.
Carl or Nikki, did you guys have any events? I know we kind of breezed over this. Okay, excellent. Next on the agenda, we've got Friends of Prairie Creek. I see our president here today.
Hello, I'm Charlene Moore, I'm Friends of Prairie Creek. Probably our last time being here for Friends of Prairie Creek. I hate that it would be our last time to be here to talk, but I almost didn't come, but I thought I would come because I just kind of wanted to speak for all of us campers. I mean, we've enjoyed our time there, watched our children and grandchildren grow up there. I was very kind of disappointed in kind of the press with the mayor, where he kind of, a lot of us felt like he made it out like we made the campground so horrible that that's why it's being shut down. But there was a lot of great people out here at the campground, a lot of people that had great pride for the campground and took care of the reservoir. As myself, me and our grandchildren would get on the golf cart, we'd pick up trash, that was our adventures on the weekends, to go around and try to make it better. And a lot of people took a lot of pride, and it's a very disappointing era for all of us, but I have had numerous calls from numerous campers, especially a lot of the elderly. How are we going to do this in the winter? I mean, what was it, like 3 meetings ago, we were told that if we didn't get evicted, we were going to have our 2026 lease. So that's why everybody paid their storage. I myself, I wished I wouldn't if we knew we were lose our campsite, because as soon as that was announced, I've called every campground around just to help everybody know what's open, who's got openings, who has a spot. A lot of them places were full. A lot of them didn't want no one moving at this time of the year due to the weather, due to the grounds. They don't want nobody moving campers in and out of their campgrounds and destroying their property in this kind of weather. And if we did, we have to pay a storage fee on top of that. So we don't get our storage fee reimbursed. So why is a lot of people wanting to pay a double of a storage fee? And then I found, calling around and seeing it all over the internet, some people that stored campers for $100 a month had their storage fee jacked up to $250 a month right off the bat. And people that was hauling, campers for people and boats for people, it might have been $75. Now it's $150 or $75 just to pull your camper. And there's a lot of older people there that's having issues trying to figure out how are they going to move in this kind of weather. Yeah, we might have 40, 50 degree weather next week, but it's going to be muddy. We're not going to be able to move a camper in mud. We're not going to even be able to get out there and do all of that. It was just kind of a poor timing for a situation for everybody to be able to have this happen. And of all times of the year, Christmas and holidays, where people doesn't really have the money to pay out extra for people to move their campers. And I know Misty's working with keeping the gates open for people to be able to have access to their campers and stuff. But I'm also with the group of people that we paid for storage where our campers were going to be locked up and nobody in and out of there. I took a drive out there one day and sat in my spot for an hour, and I did not see one person drive through. Nobody was checking on the campsite or anything. Anybody could have got in our campers or took anything, It's just one of those situations of the stress of worrying about everybody's in and out. Who know, anybody could go in there and take our stuff. We don't know because they might think they're moving their camper. Who's to know? I think, if somebody is moving a camper, somebody in the office should go there and know that they're there, open it up, and when they're done, lock it back up. At least we all know our campers are okay until the 31st. And I have some people asking, what are they going to do if they can't get it out by the 31st? What if the weather still isn't, that great to get their stuff out by the 31st? What do they do? Some of the answers just is kind of like, well, you just got till the 31st. It's not that easy. That's why we don't open up till April 1st, because of the weather. We don't start camping at that time. Jim knows it's not the greatest weather at that time, So, it's just a shame. I really hate to see the campground being closed. And we don't really have no definite, is it really going to open? Is it going to open back? And if it does, people's asking, will they have a chance to get a spot again? It's just a lot of unanswered questions that everybody has, and I don't think anybody ever truly get the real answer of what's going to happen. It never was voted. You guys never voted to close it. How legal is that to just shut it down like that when the night before we thought everything was going great? And where's the water company? what does the water company say about this? Like, are they for this to be shut down? I mean, I thought they were kind of in compliance with everybody to keep it going. So, I mean, I myself, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss all my campground kids. We were doing really great. We had such a good group of kids. This last summer we had a blast with the kids and had such big plans for the next year to do more with the kids and more with the adults. And we're going to miss it. And I'm like Jim, I hope that when Carl and you guys start hiring someone else to work at the Prairie Creek in the office, you find somebody who has that compassion about the Prairie Creek, about the people out there, and have compassion instead of being mismanaged. That's all it's been over the years, of being mismanaged. And and don't make it so political. Have someone that's not, don't put politics into the reservoir no more. It does not need to be political out there. It needs someone who has that compassion to run it and have the compassion for the people out there. Because just like Misty said, there's people that's not wanting to do the fishing tournaments out there no more. That's sad, because a lot of little kids like to do the kid tournaments and stuff that they used to have. When they all start going to different places because of what has happened, the reservoir's not going to be the reservoir. I mean, I grew up since I was a baby there. Everybody, a lot of people around. And one time it was said that, it was a luxury to be out there. It wasn't a luxury to be out there. It was a convenience for people that lived in town that had big families and didn't have a lot of money to be able to go and have fun there. And I just want to say we've enjoyed all of the years that we've had out there. Some of the campers are out here right now, and some didn't come because they're just really heartbroken over this. I mean, and disappointed about it. And I hope in the future that maybe there is camping again, but it's just, I have a boat. I still have a boat there, and I want to keep my boat there, but it's at the same time, like, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We were told we were going to have a campsite this year. We don't know if we'll have a boat next year, because tomorrow we might get up and on the news, the mayor might be announcing all pontoons need to be pulled out of there next year and nobody come back, So we don't know. I guess it's just, we all in the future would love to just be honest with people and be upfront and have the truth and, have the water company, I wished in the past the water company would have been here more to be able to talk to the people. And in meetings, involve the campers. And they should have been involved in a lot of more questionnaires, or even just having a meeting where all the campers could come and speak just themselves with the water company, with the board, with the mayor, and come to a solution instead of all of this. But I want to just thank you guys for letting me be president of the Friends of Prairie Creek and come in here, and appreciate all the time that a lot of the campers helped with activities we did. It was a great time, and it really was not some of the stuff that has been said. It's not all the campers that ruin the campground. There's a lot of people out there that really love that place. There's a lot of people that last year, literally, as soon as they heard that they had a 2026, upgraded their camper to brand new, fixed their lot really beautiful. They're out all that money. I had people asking me, what do we do about all the gravel? Because there was, somebody said that, I think it was one of them, they just put gravel down and got it approved to have gravel put down last year. And now they got to get out by the 31st of March. How do you do all that? It's going to be froze to the ground. Are they going to give any kind of extra time for people if people can't get it by the 31st to do that, or what?
Brad?
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for your time you served on as the president. Appreciate all the campers that have continued to come through the meetings through the ups and downs here we've had the last couple of years. A lot of good people out there. So, Jim.
with the discussion I've kind of called, I would like to put a motion on the floor to extend the move-out date to April 30th. Give everybody that month to get all their stuff out. I mean, that might still be tough because April's still a rainy season, but it'll give us a few more weeks to get things moved out. Just extend our contract to April 30th.
What, I don't have a calendar in front of me. What
That's
day?
a Thursday, I think.
That's a Thursday.
I mean, I'd like to go to the weekend, but I mean, if we can get to April 30th, I'm,
Or at least May 1st.
May 3rd is a Sunday. I would amend to say May 3rd if everybody would be in agreement with that.
Some of the campgrounds that I did call is not allowing people to move their campers in until like, April 15th. One was April 20th. Some of the campgrounds that I did call that was around Indiana is not allowing people to move their campers in until the middle of April or the last week of April.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's something to think about too.
Well, I'll make my motion to say, make the date May 3rd. End of day, May 3rd.
Could we have some discussion with Carl? Is there, are there any conflicts with that space or
What I
with
would
any
say
events or?
would be for the board and myself to have conversation and discuss if that's even a possibility, being that the date has already been set.
So
We don't even have, there's not even a plan set forth with the campground. So there shouldn't be any work going on without a plan set forth, I would think.
So I did discuss this idea briefly with the legal team this week, and thinks that that is a possibility. What that would probably need to look like is that that's a formal extension of the lease, so it would require notice of those people that are not going to be out by
Right.
the contracted date. They would essentially sign a lease agreement with no additional cost and follow the same terms of the lease with a new end date. So that would also help us to understand if people are intending to still get them out, are they just delayed, or is there a different issue? I did also talk with some of the administration this week, reviewing if there's any plans yet for what the future is going to be, if there's any construction start dates or any planned work out there. Certainly, the more we go into that summer season, there's a risk of overlapping and delaying any projects, but there's no date set or no construction set yet at this
Right.
time. Still working through some preliminary visioning for that. Understanding that I received is that they're going to have essentially some visioning, and then once they've got a baseline or some kind of foundation, to start bringing that to the public, bringing that here to the board for us to provide some feedback.
So who's doing the visioning? I mean, what group is doing that? Just the mayor?
So I think right now it's under the mayor and his team. I know the city engineer, Adam, is involved from the septic side, the electrical side, the water side. So the engineer has got a large piece of this as well. But I expect there'll be external contractors as well
Well, shouldn't the
associated.
Parks Board be involved in this?
That's,
And the entire park
Yep.
board, please?
that's what I'm hoping gets done, but that's, right now, it's not there yet, so.
Thank you for being honest. So should we, just to loop back on the legal aspects of extending the lease, you think that would be okay with the legal team?
The first discussion I had seems like that's feasible. We'd have to make sure that that's correct and works out, but don't see any initial issues with extending that for some time period.
I think probably what we would do is, more than likely from the legal standpoint, is anyone who needs the extra time would be given the opportunity to sign an extension to whatever date, April 30th, whatever date.
Well, I
Just
mean, I would
selected.
just like people to know in advance, not last minute.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. To our knowledge, there would be no problem based on construction with doing that. It would just be basically an extension. If people didn't need to do it, we wouldn't do it, but if they need to do it and want to do it, and it would be a help, then probably have everyone individually, case by case, sign an extension to be, and no charge, no additional charge, to allow the weather to get a little bit better and to get out to another location.
Yeah, it would be something that they'd have to come in and sign, so it would be a document, and it'd be in
Yeah.
writing and a contract.
Would not be a blanket for everybody, where there would need to be an extension of the terms,
Yep,
of the
individual.
winter storage terms.
Yep.
What if the mayor's not on board? And we get another surprise?
Hey, Brad, I would
Go
entertain
ahead, Carl.
that we, as a board, set some time to talk about the plan, timelines, as a team, and then meet with Adams Engineering and the rest of the team there that's also going to be part of the decision-making. But I don't think here tonight that we have all the answers and all the facts that we need. And so, but I think that's something that we can move towards in that direction. So, and then we'd be better prepared to give the answers to the people once we kind of know ourselves exactly what's taking place.
So,
I mean, we can't be involved with the planning if we don't even know when meetings are happening or what the plans are gonna be. I mean, I've seen a South Shore plan from a few years ago. I imagine that vision's probably gonna come to the North Shore, is what I'm guessing.
I don't know.
So
I don't-
that's what I would say. We don't, hey, we're not gonna have all this going on tonight. We don't have the answers tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need to get in the room and meet and discuss and talk, and then be able to give the community and the people the answers that they're seeking. Tonight, we don't have the answers.
But didn't you know this day was coming and then there was gonna be a lot of.
Hey, excuse me. So, right now, we're talking about the extension of the lease. Do we feel comfortable deciding that tonight, or do we want to discuss that in the January meeting?
I'm good. Voting on tonight.
So the third is longer than I had thought of originally. I was thinking mid-April, but I could be convinced either way, depending on what the board would like to do there. I think
I
having
don't
it,
think the 15th and the 3rd is that big a difference,
right.
as far as that it's not gonna affect anything.
I think having it end of day on the Sunday is appropriate, so that way the Monday we can walk the site, make sure that everything's removed, and move forward with action if we've got anything that we need to address that's still on the site. So I would prefer it to be a Sunday, end of day, kind of like you said.
so, I second that motion.
For the 3rd,
Yes,
I
for
think
May
is the
3rd.
motion we've got. All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. So it is an extension of the lease for winter storage through end of day on May 3rd,
With no extra fee.
with no extra fee. And we will work up a document that will need to be signed by anyone that is requesting the additional time window. So I would anticipate that may take a couple weeks for the legal team to review, and we'll have an update
Okay.
in January regarding that document. We got public at the end, unless you can be brief.
I thought that you guys did topic on the discussions that you're talking about.
Not directly, no. No, not on this one yet.
Whatever. I'll do it at the end. Maybe it's one at a time.
Okay.
Old business to review from the board. New business from the board. Action items or event approvals from the board. action items or event approvals from the public. And lastly, we've got public input. Guess you didn't have to go too far. Anything else?
Okay. Christopher Milbury.
For the record, because the audio or the video doesn't show the back, I want to be clear that the mayor is not here this evening. The city engineer is not here this evening. Both of those are gentlemen who we've just talked about could be part of this discussion. Some of what's concerning is, you guys talked about this. Now, thank God you voted on it and you pushed it through to the 3rd, so that's good. But some of my concern is what we were hearing is we don't want to do this tonight when there's all this here. I think that's what Mr. Malone just said. This is when you do this. You don't do this in closed doors. That's what has everybody pissed off. You guys can't meet when everybody else meets. That would be a closed door meeting. That would be illegal. You have to do this right here tonight when you got all this here. And I want to be sure that all of you and the administration who don't care to be here tonight understands that it's all about all this. And until you guys and they start to understand that it is all about this, the administration is going to continue being a joke. This is going to continue being a joke. And the people are going to continue being pissed off. So I'm extremely upset that we would have a member of the administration talking about needing to do stuff in secret without all this. That is what people elected this mayor to get away from. And we're going to go into a 3rd term of backdoor crap and getting away from all this. So I just wish, instead of listening to that, you guys would fight against it. You guys would push back. I think that you guys were very highly disrespected with how this decision came down. You guys had a meeting last month, and then the very next day, some of you knew, some of you didn't know, and that's not how this stuff should run. So, you know, hopefully we'll get it together. I don't hold out hope. I'm assuming we'll just get more of the same, and that's why the people are pissed off. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Any others on the list? Any others from the public? Before I entertain a motion to adjourn, I'm going to put Misty on the spot. I want to thank her for all of her work. I see we've got one from the staff here as well. Actually, 2, I guess. We got 2 from the staff here as well. I want to thank them for all the work they're doing out there, getting the docks out, the team that they've built out there. Sounds like Misty is going to be exploring other opportunities. So we want to wish her well and thank her for all the time that she served with us. And she will be missed. So, any other comments from the board?
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yes. Merry Christmas. If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So, second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.